Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, pips and sips, what he is, what he do, welcome to The Mac Show, the number one podcast here in the world. We're back for episode 180. And if you're new to the channel, we got absolutely everything to do with making money online, living your freest life, because what's the good of money without freedom, okay, things to do. And then I'll show you all the little hidden strategies online that others won't for free. This is the Value Channel. Now, if this is the first video you're watching, okay, I do these in podcast style format. So we go over some live updates going on in the Mac life. We get a little bit of bonding time, a little bit of gel time, and then we get into a main topic towards the end. And today, I've just thought, how simple can we make it? How to make money with OnlyFans. What is up with my hair? How to make money with OnlyFans. So I'm going to basically break it down for you all essentially into little components of what are the most important things when it comes to making money with OnlyFans, what you can do to maximize whether you're starting as a girl or as an agency. Now, we have a few little updates to get through first. So the first one is, I've heard nothing back yet from either Instagram nor Facebook. So I applied for verification on both Facebook and Instagram, and I've heard nothing from either source yet, which is great, I guess, because it means that they're actually reviewing it. Usually, Facebook would just reject it within 24 hours. So hopefully they're taking the time to really look through the application. They have a team in place, and then hopefully we can get verified on Instagram. Now that I'm on Forbes, now that I'm on Entrepreneur Mag, it's time. It's time for them to fucking give me my verification. And if you wonder why I'm so obsessed with this verification, I've been talking about it for a year now. Because once I start something, it's like a disease. It must be done. And I will just keep humming away until I get it. And the day I get it, I'll be fucking cheering. On top of that, the main benefit is really just social proof. If people find out you're verified on Instagram when they message you, okay, it conveys that trusting experience a little bit better. People take you more seriously, and credibility is a massive, massive thing in this world. Now, today, I was going to basically book flights and stuff for Dubai, head over to Dubai. I have quite some stuff to do while I'm in Dubai, and then we're heading out into Europe. Do a bit of exploring. The whole purpose of the Euro trip more than anything is, when I say I want to see people, how different cultures operate, I don't just mean like in terms of, oh, this is the history, this is that, this is that. What I mean by it is that I want to see how money moves around in different cultures. And you don't realize the way in which money is completely different country to country. And I'll give you an example, like Cambodia. You go there, and at the moment, at the time of filming this, post-pandemic, China has essentially bought everything and turned these towns into pretty much ghost towns. Like, you will drive along like roads of just dust roads, and they'll go for kilometers, miles. And they'll just be mansions. Like, I'm talking 10-bedder mansions with a pool on each side of the house, fucking tennis courts, the whole lot, like proper mansion, door to door, and just completely empty. Like, they've been built and then they've just been left there. And then the Cambodians all live in like little fucking shacks on the street and stuff like that. And there's this one town, Sihanoukville, which we went to, and it's essentially been the whole town has been turned into a giant casino factory for the Chinese government. So it's all empty casinos because there's no tourists there at the moment, and they've basically been buying up the land. But you go around, you see how things move. You don't pay for anything on card in Cambodia. You're not paying for anything on card. Nowhere's coming up to you allowing you to pay card. Everything is done in cash. And it's a split currency. You're paying US and you can pay in Cambodian. So there's the whole economy moves different and it operates differently. You can tell things go under the radar in terms of tax. You can tell there's more corruption. Different things take place. And being able to get, like I talk about, a clear picture of the map gives you a massive strategical advantage. So I want to go and experience these things. I've seen it through pretty much all of Asia. I understand how money operates in Asia, where the main money sits. The main money sits in, pretty much corrupted governments own the majority of the money. The biggest businesses in these countries are influenced by the corrupt governments. They're handled and pretty much they're operated to some degree of, authority above them. There's some level of, even the big business owners there, they have some level of influence in these higher tier communities. So you sit and you analyze that. And, I'm keen to see in Australia, people can be multi-millionaires here in Australia and be unknown. Like, it's really one of the only places where, you don't need any influence. If you're well established in somewhere like Asia, People know about you. People talk, people know. But you could be here in Australia. You could own a fucking giant beach house somewhere, say, whether you're in up the coast, like along the coastal line as you head towards Brisbane. You could be in Port Macquarie. You could be in any of these towns, own a massive mansion, multiple little other properties scattered elsewhere, do millions in property development or however you make your money, crypto, and be unknown. No one knows you. No one knows who you are. And so money moves differently in different countries. So I'm keen to go to Dubai. Dubai is definitely, the money place that everyone says that's where big money moves. I'm keen to meet some people there, gain some influence there, and then have a hub that I can travel to and back from, because I'm sure throughout my stages now of like my late 20s to the rest of my life, Dubai will be a place that I frequent often, and probably with the US. But that's why I'm keen to do Europe now, see what Europe's like, get the travel, almost the travel bug out of the way as well, and get to enjoy the traveling side of things. But then also be like, okay, this is how this money's operating this half of the world, this is how money's operating here, this is how money operates here, this is how, it gives you more of a game plan, of a roadmap, because things may change. If I want to accumulate a different amount of wealth in a different way, I might have to approach with a different strategy. So getting a clear picture and a clear roadmap is everything. Plus, you become a more, your beliefs become better when you travel, simply because of the fact that your beliefs come from, basically your beliefs are built as a child from your family unit and then your schooling and your close friends. And when you can go out and challenge all your own beliefs, it makes you a very strong individual in terms of, what you want, your morals, your virtues, because you've seen everything. A lot of people accumulate a lot of money in the United States, for example, and they've never left the US, or some people accumulate, they spend their whole life in pretty much their hometown. When I was younger and I went over and visited some family that I have that lives in New Hampshire, we were speaking to some people in the town of Jaffrey, and they said, well, where are you guys from? We're saying, oh, we're from Australia, we're here, da-da-da-da-da. They're saying, oh my God, that's incredible. And we said, well, like, where have you been outside? And they said, like, what states? And we're like, no, what countries? And they said, no, I've never left my hometown here in Jaffrey. And I was like, fuck, like, you're in a tiny little town, and probably not tiny, it's just tiny from memory in comparison to Australia as well. We're very big. It's crazy. It's crazy. Some people just don't leave their hometown. So anyway, that was the thought process. How did I get into that? Heading to Dubai. My card as well. One of my business cards got skimmed. It was only a very small amount, inconsequential amount. However, it got picked up, so my card got blocked, and then it worked out good, obviously, because they blocked my card. But it's annoying because now they've had to resend a card that they send. It's going to take 5 days. I got it expressed, but essentially, I have to reset up all the reoccurring billing on everything, which is a fucking nightmare because you always forget. And I know that I'm just about to head traveling. I'm going to forget something. Then I'm going to try and set up a new card. It's going to say, why are you trying to do this from a foreign location? Plus, I'll be on a new phone. I've recently got a new phone number. Like, it's just going to be fun. I can see it happening. So stay tuned for that fucking issue that's heading this way. Top of that, I'm testing out some new standardized thumbnails to begin with. When I originally post, I like to post my YouTube videos without created thumbnails. I don't like to waste time. I like to post simply because I am focused on mass producing as much high quality content in terms of the information that I give as possible. And then over time, I can go back, I can rehash, I can pick these podcasts apart. I can get all different bits from them and re-upload with different thumbnails, different titles throughout time. But I am playing around with just a new style of thumbnail that has no text on it. So essentially, I removed all the text, a big bright red arrow, and like a different blurred out image background, and then myself, and then a PNG or a cutout transparent version, copyright free version of a model, like a hot fucking model, and then put the glowing after effect around. So we're going to test how that translates over time as well. We just keep testing with YouTube. YouTube is it's a great game to be a part of. And if you don't have a YouTube channel yet, like I say in every video, you're missing out. You need to have a fucking channel. And that adds on, I think, the next point is, the cool thing that I look at with YouTube is I still see pretty much YouTube here as the main form of media for at least the next 5 to 10 years. And so if I can put this in 5 to 10 years and I understand that YouTube is compounding, the audience compounds, people watch, they tell other people, it compounds, and I can see that it's quadratic by the way in which the channel's growing. The content really hasn't changed too much. I may have got better with my ability to speak more concisely, my ability to hold a train of thought longer, my ability to communicate and break things down, provide value, remember topics, understand backgrounds and little bits about lighting. But essentially, it hasn't really changed that much. Nothing's really changed too much. It's pretty much still the same. Like the obviously the value in each video comes from the information that I convey, but the videos themselves haven't really changed too much. But yet the audience is compounding. So that's just showcasing that that's how the system is designed. It's that effect that it is, a snowball machine. And I believe after a while, once I've built an audience that has, I have so much information on my channel. I have so many podcasts to delve into. Once I build if I start to build out with other people and feature on other podcasts at any stage and start to build virality, there is such an amount of relationship that can be built between me and my watchers here like yourself on YouTube, because you watch and it's like, I've got 700 videos, I've got 1,000 videos, 10,000 videos. And they encompass all the things I enjoy, whether it's jiu-jitsu, travel, business, We can build such a quick connection and that makes you a very influential person. And so, I think most people give up on the YouTube game way too soon. It takes a few years to even get your beginning traction. Your beginning traction, you can certainly make a lot of money off, but if you really dedicate yourself for 5 to 10 years to something, same as any craft, you'll make a shit ton of money and you'll become an expert in that area. What's next? I already talked about it. My mum's working full time for me now. It's great to have my mum basically done. She still goes to work once a fortnight or once a month or whatever thing she's got, because she likes the social aspect or interaction. But, to be able to retire my mum, it means more to me than commodities and watches and silly things. So, I think if you were raised, especially by your mother, as a young man, and, you had a good relationship with your mum, or she did your job, she fed you, she took care of you, and you don't find a way to repay that debt and retire your mum, and you're driving around, in supercars with rollies on first, and your mum's still hustling, your priorities are fucking flawed beyond repair. So, anyway, I think, I think the last thing before we get into the OnlyFans stuff is that I believe the main blow up for this channel will start to happen over the space of like these next 12 months. I put in the time now for these next 12 months. Now we're starting to boom. Once we hit, 20K, 30K, 40K, 50K, and it builds up. Once we hit that 100K mark, I just don't believe we can be stopped, because I know that once we hit 100K on this channel here on YouTube, with the systems that I have in place, with the plans that I have in place, with the strategies that I'm utilizing, we can't be beaten. And the thing is, I am such, I put myself as such a grinder. I can put out a mass amount of volume to succeed. And that's why I always win, because I can put in volume. I'm happy to put in the work. I'm definitely not as skillful as most YouTubers. I don't have the patience of most YouTubers. I don't have, the ability to film as well as they do, to edit, to story write, to cut, to plan videos, to do these things. But I will win on my sheer amount of workload that I will put out. I will continuously drop, 4 videos a day for 10 plus years. Most of these tubers, they cannot do that. And, that being said, everyone adds their own element. Like, I wouldn't expect someone like Bia Hez's channel, to be able to drop a video like he does a day, because he has such an amount of work that goes into it, experimentation, all these different things. But, I like to put out the workload. So, with that being said, let's get into the OnlyFans stuff, and it's the most simple, title, how to make money with OnlyFans, but that's what we're rocking with, how to make money with OnlyFans. Now, depending on what stage you're at, whether you're a creator or whether you're an agency, as an agency, the easiest way is obviously going to be to acquire a girl who is already making money with OnlyFans, okay? Find out how you can add value, and value, there's a whole ladder for value. You could just replace their effort. So you could say, I'll handle all the workload. You just show me what you're doing now. I'll handle all the workload and I'll take 10%. I'll handle all the workload, I'll take 20%. I'll handle all the workload, I'll take 50%. Whatever value, just find where you can chip in value where money already is. As an agency, that's the easiest way, because you're going to get hands-on experience. Rather than trying to build up a girl's account from the beginning, which is still fine, you can do that. If you find a girl who is willing enough to work with you, and you can get some hands-on experience, you'll see how money's moving. You'll move, even if you work for free for the first 30 days or whatever, get in there. Be like, where do you acquire your subs from? Okay, let me see how I can boost that. Okay, what traffic sources do you use? What about it? Have you tried this? Have you tried this? And just get experience. Stop trying to jump in and be like, I did 100K my first month. It's not going to happen. You know, every single person that watches these videos think, oh, I'm going to launch this business and it's going to do me 100K a month. And then it doesn't work after 30 days, so you quit. And then you try another thing, and that's, you know, 30 days away from 100K a month. And then that's 30 days away from 100K a month. And then you never make it to 100K a month because you never stick with anything long enough. You don't dedicate yourself. Realize you can't skip the cognitive stage of learning. You need to start at the bottom and then work your way, gain experience, because people are rewarded for the value they give. And if you don't make much money currently, you don't know anything about the industry, how can you just jump in and provide value? How do you think that what you can do is just come on board and cheat that process? You cannot. You can accelerate the process by learning, paying for consultants, gathering what information you can, and split testing, but you can't skip the learning phase. It can't be done. I see too many people trying to skip the learning phase, and and even if they get early success early on, it blows them up later on because they don't have strong frameworks, they don't have strong characteristic traits and principles. So as an agency though, the easiest way to make money is to look for someone that's already making money. Try and see where can you slip in any value, okay? And then negotiate a term where you can come on board, gain experience and work, okay? If you're a girl and you're already making money, chances are you're not utilizing the three main methods effectively the way you could to boost your account. So basically the main promotion methods at the moment that you should be adding in for long term, if you're serious about making a large amount of money, not a little amount of money, you need to have a YouTube channel because it drives a serious amount of traffic. You need to have a YouTube channel. You need to have TikTok ads firing off as well. Not just TikTok ads, but TikTok organic posts daily and resharing them as shorts. And then you need to be uploading that to content, X-rated content sites like Pornhub, all these places. On top of that, you should be using Tinder daily, sitting there swiping on social apps. That is your short-term cash flow. And then you're using that money to pay yourself to build your brand over time while you focus on these long-term platforms. And then you just get better and better from there. I mean, most people overcomplicate the process. You just want to outsource, you want everything 100% automated, and you're just trying to skip the workload. You need to get better and better, and then you put people in place and leverage people to handle tasks when you have a better task to work on. If you know that long-term YouTube is going to make you more money, and you already make enough money now to survive and pay someone, put someone on to handle that short-term payment, okay? Get them to handle the short-term sitting there swiping, the short-term cold outreach, the short-term lead generation tactics, Reddit, form posting. Get them to handle that so that even if you're breaking even, you're then building the strong structure so that you can reap rewards and make a serious amount of profit from these long-term platforms. Because when I say long-term, they're the ones that cement, that build over time. You build an audience, and once you build an audience, you know, then you can mass monopolize in all different ways. Not just the constant in-stream of subscribers you get, but you can run promos and you can push people to email lists and you can collect data elsewhere, and then you can set up remarketing. Then you can use polls to gather data of what people really want to pay and how much they would pay for certain things. And then you can sell fetish items and capture a percentage of your audience. You know, upsell funnels, systems, business stratagems that you can put in place. But you really need to focus on building an audience. I mean, attention is the main commodity at the moment. You need to be building an audience. So with that being said, it's a smaller podcast today. It's super simple on how to make money. You just need to implement, you know, short-term marketing tactics. I have hundreds of videos on how you can do that. If you're an agency and you're not making any money yet, the easiest thing is to look for a girl who already does it. And if you're saying, I don't know how to find them, so many ways you can do that. You can cold outreach. You can run paid ads to have girls message you. There's a whole myriad of different things you can do to attract girls to your account to message you, and then it's your ability to close and provide value from there. So hopefully you enjoyed. If you found some value, make sure you hit subscribe. If I can give you a little extra free value right here, if you want a free shout out, okay, to my email list of a fucking shit ton of simpy dudes, or I'll give you maybe a shout out in the Discord, or I can potentially give you a shout for shout list with thousands of other girls that you can chase up for shout for shouts. Hit me up, okay, and I'll on Instagram at the Mac Life. I'm happy to do that for you for free. If you're wanting to start an agency and you want a reference sample contract that you can put in place with these girls, hit me up. I'll also give you that for free on Instagram. Fuck, this is just value. And I want to add, A really cool thing inside the Hive Mind now that we've created is a shout for shout Discord chat. So inside that shout for shout chat, every member can now just go in there, whether an agency or a girl, and just say, hey, I want to shout for shout and connect with 20 other people and capitalize on all their audiences straight away. And a heap of the creators, we have people doing 6 figures a month now. Well, not a heap doing 6. We have a few doing 6 figures a month, but we have a handful of people doing 6 figures a month, quite a lot of people doing 5 figures a month. And you can just get shout for shouts for all of them. So, and the bigger this builds, the quicker and more quadratic it becomes in terms of the amount of customers that we can amplify. So you could get like custom lists from other Hive members. There's all different ways that we can help each other out. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed. Share this video with a friend if you found it valuable. And I'll see y'all in tomorrow's one.